Congressman Peter King joins us, Republican from New York and chair of the House Intelligence Subcommittee on Emerging Threats. Congressman, always a pleasure. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Has American security just taken a hit because of the resignation of General Flynn?
I think, unfortunately, it's probably something that had to happen, and I say that as someone who has a great respect for General Flynn. When he was head of the Defense Intelligence Agency, no one knew more about ISIS. He was warning the country about it years before President Obama wanted to hear it, and that created a real problem for him at the Defense Intelligence Agency. But again, if there was this lack of candor between him and the Vice President, and that candor, that sense of trust is essential. I think once that happened, General Flynn probably did the right thing in stepping down, and President Trump did the right thing in asking him to. But again, I take no joy in this at all, because Mike Flynn is a true patriot and really a man who contributed so much to this country.
Congressman, on the left-hand side of our screens, which perhaps you cannot see, Linda McMahon just confirmed for the Small Business Administration, that vote just taking place. She is in. Now, Congressman, I want to refer to something I'm calling the mass hysteria from the left over the recent deportation raids. According to authorities, 75% of those arrested illegals had prior criminal convictions for offenses like murder and sexual assault. I think the media is not covering this properly. This is not a story about maids being separated from their families and deported. This is a story about our unwillingness to have convicted criminals staying in our society. Where am I going wrong?
I agree with you completely, Stu. First of all, I have tremendous respect for General Kelly, who's the Secretary of Homeland Security. These raids, if you want to call them that, are absolutely required. They're legal. As Secretary Kelly said, more than 75% of those who were taken into custody are hardened criminals. These are people who should not be in the country to begin with, and then after they're here, they're committing crimes. So, no, this is so much exaggeration, so much hysteria being generated. And the same people who are generating the hysteria, many of them are these special advocate immigrant groups. They somehow forget the fact that President Obama deported 2.5 million people, an all-time record during the time that he was president. So, no, what President Trump is doing here is what he would say, is what he said he would do during the campaign. It's absolutely required. And who out there is going to say that an illegal immigrant who is a criminal should be allowed to stay in this country? I mean, this is absolutely crazy.
It's remarkable to me, at least, that you've got all this going on in Washington, D.C. This is political turmoil. The media, I don't think, doing the right job when it comes to reporting things like immigration raids. And yet, you're a congressman from New York. You can see what's happening on the market. Dow Industrial's way over 20,000, setting record after record after record. This political stuff is being ignored by investors and I think most people in the country. Again, you agree with that one?
For the most part, yes, certainly by the business community and also by rank-and-file people who see the president, again, making progress, going ahead. Yeah, he's made some mistakes. He shouldn't be getting involved in tweeting, about Nordstrom's and things like that. But the bottom line is he is trying to carry out the promises that he said he would do during the campaign as far as illegal immigrants with criminal records, as far as keeping terrorists out of the country, as far as cutting back on needless regulation and trying to move the country forward and creating jobs and keeping jobs here in the United States. They see President Trump working harder than any president has ever worked during his first 3 or 4 weeks in office.
Congressman Peter King, a pleasure. Thanks for joining us, sir.
Thank you, Stu.
Thank you.